then you have to come back, your why, your purpose, your mission, and keep coming back to that. Because when the going gets tough and things are hard and, you're losing team members or, all the stuff that can happen and does happen, coming back to your why and your purpose and your mission makes it all worthwhile. And there was that light bulb moment of, yeah, I could be a coach. I could help people and help them figure out. And it was lockdown really that prompted me to retrain and to set up my business, really realizing that this is what I want to do. So I became an accredited life coach, and like I say, I haven't looked back.
So I'm gonna tell you, it's something that I don't really share out there, but I'm a certified John Maxwell coach and speaker. But I find that coaching is not something that I love to do, because coaching requires a lot of listening to people and helping them figure out within themselves what the solution is. I'm more of a mentor. Like, ask me questions, I'll tell you the answer. Let's keep it short and sweet. That is something that I highly respect for coaches, because it takes a lot of patience and a lot of listening to be a coach. But I've seen the results. There's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of positivity and realization with the person after each session. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier in the pre-show that the reason why you're doing this, guesting on podcasts, sharing your wisdom, is to make a positive impact in the world. I just want to know, where did that come from? Because that comes from somewhere very deep. It's not every day that you meet people who says that I want to impact the world positively.
When I'm working with my clients and they have a breakthrough, or they, and like you say, being a coach is about holding the space for them to realize what's already inside them. And I very much see my job as, like you say, listening to that and just asking the right questions to help them see what's already there. Asking difficult questions at times and challenging questions. But when they have that breakthrough, or when I get messages from my clients saying, I've just done this today, Lou, I couldn't have done it without you, that is so rewarding. And my clients come to me and they've got big goals. They've got really big goals. They want to, figure out why they're here, find out their purpose so they can have more fulfillment in their life. But what they don't realize when they come to me is that it will make them a better parent. It makes them a better partner. It makes them a better colleague. It makes them a better friend, daughter, husband, etc. because of the small incremental changes that they're making in their life, as well as the big, huge changes. And to see that and to see the difference, and we were chatting before, weren't we, about the ripple effect of changing one person's life doesn't just change one person's life, it changes another 10, 20 lives indirectly. And having seen the power of that on my own coaching journey, I know I'm a much, much better person now. I have coaching myself. I have a couple of coaches that I'm working with, means that I have stepped into the best version of me, which allows me to help others become the best versions of them. And I said, if we can, by inspiring one person to go, I want to figure out what my purpose is. I want to know what my values are. I want more fulfillment in life. I want to be part of that ripple effect of positive impact. Then that can only be a good thing. We need more positivity in the world. We need more people who want to make a difference. And that's absolutely vital.
Speaking about purpose and fulfillment, it's funny, it's both funny and sad that some people come to you and ask you, what's my purpose in life? That is such a big question. I mean, it's huge. I wouldn't know how to answer it straight up, right? Because everyone's different. Everyone has a different goal for their life. Everyone has a different upbringing and history. Everyone has a different belief in terms of faith in God. I wonder what you say. What do you tell a person like that who is, I would say, pretty lost, right?
They're lost, they're stuck, they're at a crossroads. Often it might be a relevant birthday that's coming up and making them just rethink their life. They might have had an illness that's made them, reconsider where they're going. It's a It's a tricky one. It's very deep. I have a really detailed questionnaire that my clients fill out before our first breakthrough session. And then I go through that in our first session, and we get really, really deep into, it's questions like, what do you think about? And what do you talk about when you're in a social situation? The values that you've had throughout each decade of your life. And there's lots and lots of different questions that questionnaire goes through. Then we get deeper, and then I help them write their purpose statement. So the questionnaire is really all about what their values are, and that could be, absolutely anything. Questions help pull that out of them. And then once they've figured out what their values are, we put them in an order that they feels right to them. And then they write a purpose statement that they can, stick on their wall. I know one of my clients says it as her affirmation every morning, just to remind herself who she is and what's important to her and why she's here. And it's really helped her change direction. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it in the end. And then once we've done that, that normally takes the first 2 or 3 sessions to really nail that. And then they know, and that kind of enlightenment, that insight kicks in, and they know where they're headed then, and there's no stopping them. Then it's mainly the inner work to help them unleash their potential to actually go and do that.
That's amazing right there. I mean, we live in a world right now where people, and it's not just me, I've read books, I've met leaders who say that we have lost the capacity to think. I do believe it's because we have so much stuff that we can do, so much entertainment that's just pumped our way. We're like drinking from a fire hose right now. And that ability to think, right? That's what you actually are helping them do. You're helping them think. It's in there. They know it. It's their values that you're trying to bring out. It's just they haven't really thought about, they don't know how to think about it. And
when it's so easy just to carry on with, like, we get on the hamster wheel, don't we? We're all on the hamster wheel of life, just accepting that this is the status quo, this is the lot we've been given, and very few of us consider getting off the hamster wheel. Because you're right, you're so right, Sean. It takes a lot of thought, that thought process, asking questions that you haven't asked yourself before. Like we were talking about ease and safety before. That's not easy or safe. That's quite challenging and difficult. But yeah, it's the very few people that are willing to go on that journey and really take a look at themselves and do the thinking. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah. How do you do it? For me, it's definitely when I go for a walk or I ride my bike, 40 to 45 minutes. Sometimes I listen to a podcast. Sometimes I think. That's my thinking time. And then I journal. I keep a journal. I just finished up one journal again. And that's how I think. Thought leaders, we have to do that. And it's really good. But how do you do it?
Really similar, actually. I have a dog. So dog walking. I live really close to the woods. So taking her out into the woods and being in nature, which is amazing. It helps to ground you back down to earth again. And journaling. Journaling's a great one. It's something that I'm relatively new to, but I would now recommend to all of my clients, because the process of getting your thoughts out of your head, pen and paper, the act of doing that you can tap into your subconscious thoughts by doing that is so, so powerful. So anyone listening, I highly encourage you to start journaling. And what else? Yeah, just sitting, being still and listening to my intuition, I think, is a really big one as well. I think we're often, as leaders, we are very much in our masculine space, and we do, and we keep going and we keep going. And we forget that actually stopping and reevaluating and pausing is just as important as the action. We need winter in order to have the spring and the summer, don't we? But we forget that we're cyclical beings. We're cyclical. We're not linear, and it's important. And I think especially a lot of entrepreneurs, business people, ambitious people often can think in a very masculine, linear way and forget that the stopping time, the me time, is also just as important.
There are those times though that you really kind of like, I mean, in my experience, there are times when I have no choice. I just have to keep going. Someone gets sick or someone has a tough time in their life that I have to carry the slack. I run a 50-man team. It's a lot, but If one of my leaders just knocked down by life, I mean, I can't just shoot the wounded, right? So we give them grace, and it just takes out your time to think. But how important is this? So I want to continue the thought process that we're going on with here. You mentioned about leaders and how important journaling is and thinking and pausing is. And I do agree. How do we as leaders, entrepreneurs, and managers, most of the people listening here, run a company, run a team, are managers, or are people who want to start a side hustle? How do we incorporate all of these learnings? Because we do both agree that we have lost the ability to think as a people. How do we now incorporate that? And how does that improve the bottom line, the ROI, the money coming in, the revenue?
I very much believe that when we come from a place of passion and purpose, that, profit follows passion, right? I believe that you can make a business, a successful business, doing what you absolutely, truly love. And I sometimes can't believe that I get paid to do what I do. It just feels like such a privilege. And I think when leaders lose their initial reasons for doing what they do, that, then you have to come back your why, your purpose, your mission, and keep coming back to that. Because when the going gets tough and things are hard and, you're losing team members or, all the stuff that can happen and does happen, coming back to your why and your purpose and your mission makes it all worthwhile. Your reasons for having started this in the first place. And just, we work really, really hard because we're really passionate about what we do, but stopping and reflecting as well. And, I always say to people, just take 3 deep breaths, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths and listen to what your heart is telling you. And that will tell you the next direction that you need to take. I think we sometimes get so caught up in shiny object syndrome as well. I've got to do this. Oh, but someone else over there is doing that. And I really want to do this. And there's this as well. And we want to do it all because that's natural. We're creative. We want to do everything. And sometimes we can't and shouldn't. And it's just about, okay, the next thing. What is the next thing that I can do to, grow and build and make a thriving, flourishing business?
Oh, hey, and since you're here, can you do me a favor? Can you hit on the subscribe button and hit the bell button and select all notifications so that whenever we have a new video, you're going to be the first one to know. Until then, keep leading.
At the end of the day, it's not all about money. It's not all about passive income. It's not all about retirement. It's also about how much growth did you have as a person? How many moments did you have in life? Because life is made out of moments, not really of a balance sheet.